Hi everyone, we are here in Mercadia Games for another qualifier of Lisbon Legacy League, and we are here with the winner, Guilherme. How are you? Congratulations.
Thank you. Happy, I guess. Just won a tournament with a ton of people, so great. Especially playing a pet deck. So
yeah. Nice. So where are you from and what do you do?
So I'm from the Azores and I'm currently a PhD student. So Magic player, PhD student on the side, So,
nice. And how long do you play Magic?
So tricky question. So I started playing Magic when I was 7 years old. But then
wow.
I stopped. Yeah, it was in the school. You see the older kids playing some weird card game with some cool art, so we just started playing as well. But then I stopped playing and only got back into it in 2021, I think, like late 2021, early 2022.
Oh, quite recently.
Yeah.
Nice. And what about Legacy? When did you start to play Legacy?
So Legacy just 2 years ago, I would say. So late 2022, I showed up to the last LLL qualifier in November, I think. But I've been watching Legacy for a very long time because I've always enjoyed the format. As I said, I started playing a while ago, and I used to love seeing Force of Will and Days, cards like those that really felt powerful, but I could never play with them, so it was just a matter of time until I got to play with those cards and in that format.
Nice. But today you didn't play Force of Will or...
Yeah, no.
What did you play today?
So today I played Death and Taxes, so Black White Death and Taxes. It was a meta call. I like the deck, it's a pet deck. I had most of the cards with me just from collecting them and playing other decks. And so I just decided I think it's fine in the meta as long as I don't get any like super combo heavy deck. The matchups should all be fine, and they were. Delver was a tough one, but Sultai Beans, for example, more or less smooth sailing. I played against Lands on the quarterfinals. Also nice, but I had some help from luck, I guess. My opponent's deck didn't want to cooperate, but overall I didn't lose any games, so I would say it was a nice meta goal.
Yeah, because the taxes against fair decks is very...
Yeah, it's a lot of value. You have orcs that are good against you, but orcs are usually good against orcs decks. So it's also nice. It's a nice way to punish the very value-heavy decks like Beans, for example. So I just think you cannot value those slower decks. It's just really fast decks that you have some problems with, and obviously the combos that you have very little interaction at least game one.
And you managed to dodge them.
Yeah, pretty much lucky.
Yeah, we had not a very spell combo, maybe 2, 3. So yeah, it was a good call. And what do you think about the tournament today? We had a great day with 29 players. We had a great lunch as usual between all the players, and it was very, very nice. And what about the tournament? What do you think about it?
It's usually a nice community. The tournaments are usually very enjoyable. 5 rounds, it's good enough. I would have liked to see the 32 people threshold, so we could get 6 rounds, but it's late already, so I guess it's for the best. But yeah, the tournament is always super fun. The opponents are always great. The community is very nice in general.
Okay. And then what about your list? You played the black white.
Yeah.
With the warts in the main, in the sideboard, what are the black cards?
So in the sideboard, the white cards are Leyline of the Void, which aren't white cards.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cabal therapies, and 3 Macabre.
Okay.
The rest was just normal white stuff, and 2 Galactiques that I actually never cast, but held in my hands a couple of games.
Nice. The Cabal therapy is over the Thoughtseizes because you play a lot of creatures and you want to get the value?
I play for Thoughtseizes main. I just play 2 more Cabal therapies because in some matchups it's the only interaction you have. You don't have interaction on this deck, so you just really need to target their hand.
Yeah, I didn't know you played the Thoughtseizes in main. Okay. Yeah. And I saw one card in the finals against Delver. It was Serra Paragon.
Yeah, I think it's Serra Paragon. Yeah.
What do you think about it and why did you play it in the sideboard?
It's more or less a flex slot, so I'm not an expert on the deck, so I just took a couple of lists, and some lists were playing the Extraction Specialist, which is a 3/2 ETB get a creature that with CMC 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield, which is nice, but because you can tutor it, but the CMC 2 isn't super great. So it's just a flex slot. I'm not a very big fan of just playing a playset of Mother of Runes. I just play 3 of them, because in some matchups you just flood with Mother of Runes and it feels great that your opponent can't go monster them or kill them. But if you just draw Mother of Runes, then you have no pressure, you have no game plan.
Yeah.
So I mean, that flex slot, it just looked like a nice card. It gets you a lot of value. It's a great top deck, and I mean, sometimes as you saw if you see the gameplay, you'll see it's a great card. It can win you games, especially the grindier games. It's very difficult to take it off the board unless you have an actual kill spell. Bolts don't do it, and it just gives you life. It's very important, just gives you life.
Hey, it gave you the third game in the finals.
Yeah.
It was the card that turned the match around. Yeah, nice. And what about the meta game in the tournament today? What do you think about it? And
I mean, from what I saw, it's more or less what I expected. I didn't see a lot of initiative decks, the more stompy decks. So Synthesizer, for example, has been picking up Patchwork Automaton. I didn't really get to face those.
we had two copies.
1 or 2 players, yeah. But I mean, that's a deck that I was expecting to see more just because it's the novelty. It looks great, but I don't think it's going to age all that well. It's mostly now that nobody is playing Artifact Hate like Urza Saga Hate, because the top decks that play it aren't playing it right now, aren't being played right now. Like, I don't know, 8 cast is not a deck anymore, right? Transmitted into this more or less. Yeah. Even the Goblins deck, it's not Goblins deck, the one, no, not Muxus, the one with the Stone Painter Servant. So Painter Servant, for example, has also fallen off a bit, so you don't really need all that many meltdowns or dress downs. So it feels normal that these decks would pick up a few wins here and there, but if people are expecting it, then it shouldn't be all that great. So to summarize, I was expecting to see slightly more of those kinds of decks. Initiative as well, Goblins as well, but I guess those players just didn't show up, or the decks didn't perform all that well, I guess.
Okay. Just another question about the deck list. What about the equipments? What are you playing now?
So I'm playing the standard Lion Sash, Better Skull, Cauldron Complete, and I'm also playing the new card from Fallout, pre-war formula, that just returns a card with CMC 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. And I think CMC 3 or less is very relevant, because it's like 99% of your deck. You can return Flicker Wisps, and Flicker Wisps just give you insane value. You put it onto the battlefield. If you want, it's just a 5/3 Vigilance Flying, so really strong body. Obviously, it dies to Bolt. But if you want to get maximum values and get super cheeky, you can also blink it, and then by the end step, it comes back again and you can return something. So it's very difficult for opponents to answer. And if you get a Yorion, you can do this all over again. So tons of value, won me a couple of games, and it's an equipment that I searched for very often, I would say, because if you just draw a random Calder Complete or a Butter Skull when you are just playing, if you put your Stoneforge Mystic into play, that's the first thing you are going to search, unless you are under super pressure and really need the Lion Sash to resolve something on the graveyard.
Okay. And what about G? Did you miss it?
Yes, I missed it. I wasn't expecting to miss it. I missed it because I played against Seth with Breakfast once. I didn't lose that game. We ended up tying 1 time. But it's definitely a card that I thought, damn, why did I actually take these out? Because in that matchup, you just if you equip it on something, then the game is won. They can't do anything. You just trade 2/4/1s. I think that not even 2/4/1s, 2/4/0s. I think that instant speed, and don't even need the stack. Don't need to play anything. So on that game, for sure. Apart from it, not really. I wouldn't say. Okay. Maybe 1 or 2 spots where I got Better Skull and GT probably could have handled the job. But then again, I think it would be more or less the same thing, where I just need to put something on the board, and the life gain is what matters. So it's more the threat of actually putting it and putting it there.
Yeah, it's nice to see that the cards are getting better, and the JIT, that is an all-star from. I mean, since it was released, and now people are questioning it, and some people don't play it, and it's nice to see.
It just feels slow. So if you fetch better still, if you fetch Caldera, if you fetch a pre-war formalware, you just pay 2 mana. It's on the battlefield. It's a body. It's very relevant. It's just 2 mana. If you go for GT, it's either you are already flooded and you can play GT either from your hand or with just on Forge. But then you also have to pay 2 extra mana
and connect.
So your opponent can't have anything to answer either GT or the creature. So I mean, it just feels less impactful, or it feels worse when the opponent has an answer than all the other equipments. Because Lion Sash, it's I mean, you fetch it in super relevant matchups, and it's your graveyard hate in the main deck, so it's slightly different, but still very cheap, and presents a threat as soon as it enters the battlefield.
Nice. And what about the legacy metagame overall? What do you think about it?
I mean, from what I'm seeing, it's fine. I like it. I wasn't enjoying it as much when I was playing Delver, because getting paired up against beams all the time just feels soul crushing, right? You are just trying to get it there, and when you fall short, you just fall short for like by a nail. So it always feels super bad. But I mean, that's always a perspective of, do you want to play to win? Do you want to play to have fun? And if you want to metagame, you can. I mean, I came with a pet deck more or less that I thought was a good meta call. So well-positioned deck that does strong things, just not against the whole field. And if you get a bit lucky, then I guess you can always pull it off.
Nice. So congratulations and good luck in the finals.